Mexico? How did that happen?
I don't know. Suddenly we were here.
Yeah, I wish it was like this. Actually, I would have loved to just be here, but the traveling here was quite stressful.
It was pretty intense, actually. And I think that's the first time that I've been traveling ever that I've been so stressed.
It's the first time I've
ever. This is my first trip, guys. I was actually really nervous because of fucking heap loads of paperwork and
you
just
don't
not
ever
knowing.
have anxiety when you travel? Like,
Never
ever had it before?
I've never ever had even the slightest bit of like,
How?
oh, this might go wrong. Even when I got stopped at that Cambodian border for carrying a knife, and they made me
Wait, so many questions.
back it up.
Why were you carrying a knife?
So my dad had bought me this really beautiful Swiss Army knife.
You're going to Cambodia. I'm fine with this.
Yeah,
but take
this
this
is
knife.
what you need: a 1-inch knife and a corkscrew.
Probably more.
That probably came in more handy. But
for an abortion pill.
yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure there was a prong for that. Just quick fix.
Just screw it in. And you just plug it. You just imagine.
Oh, done. I'm pretty sure there was even like a little sewing kit that was like on the top. You could open up a little flap and anyway. So yeah, I just threw it into my backpack and then I went through the scanners and obviously it went off. They realised I had this Swiss Army knife and they made me sign a lethal weapons carrier form. So now every time I go anywhere within Asia, it always flags up and I always get asked about it.
If you brought some lethal weapons, you're like,
yeah,
no, just these just boys. No, I mean girls.
Not just these babies. Yeah, I can't even remember why I got onto that subject.
Sorry.
Sex bomb.
Yeah, but you said you weren't even nervous then. You were not internally dying.
And I was like 10 years younger then, so I was just like, hilarious.
Really?
So yeah, this is honestly the first time where I felt really, just nervous, I think.
I got stopped in, I don't actually know where. When I was flying to New Zealand, one of the stops in between, they told me I can't bring the tripod onto the plane, even though I had it on the plane before. And then I had to transfer. They're like, nah. I was like, hey, what am I supposed to do now? They're like, oh, we'll just ship it for you or whatever.
Oh, no.
Well, it was fine.
Yeah.
But I thought I was dying.
Yeah, it feels like a massive inconvenience.
Yeah. No, just, I thought, oh my God, I've done something wrong. I'll go to jail now or something. No.
Oh, no.
So stressed all the time.
Yeah.
I even just thinking of airports makes me like shake. It feels like such an arbitrary place. There are no rules. It's like kind of, or too many rules that I cannot foresee.
And they just can seem to make them up as they go. The second I got to London Airport or Heathrow, the first thing the guy said was, do you have this certain form? Which I didn't. Like, I have like 16 different bits of documentation ready, paid for, organised. And the one thing I didn't do, he's like, you got to have it to fly.
This is hilarious because it was exactly the same situation for us. I was like stressing out majorly. Okay, I was really felt underprepared because last minute checking all the documents, whatever. But I felt like I had at least, is someone coming? We're sitting in the hallway, so might be some fans will come out and need some signatures or something. Anyways, and at least I thought I had sorted out the paperwork. First thing the guy asked was like, oh, you're transferring through the US, so do you have your ESTA visa or something? I'm like, no. He's like, yeah, then you can't fly. I was like, you could try. You have 2.5 hours or 2 hours or something along those lines till check-in closes. I opened the webpage on my MacBook, like on the floor, just frantically typing all my details. And then I read, like, it can take some hours to 72 hours to be approved. I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And from then on, like, I couldn't even listen to podcasts or anything. There was nothing that could distract me from just worrying. But I saw a guy praying to Mecca, so I was like, that seems good enough for me. So I started praying to Mecca. So I was like, please do something. So my visa got approved, and then Max, who I was traveling with, still no answer.
Did yours get approved straight away?
Or maybe, I don't know, half an hour or 45 minutes or something along before we had to check in.
Really fast.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, please, please, please. And eventually we went to the guy. I was like, what are we supposed to do if it doesn't happen? He's like, oh, I'll give you this number. You have to rebook your flights. I was like, this is impossible. He's like, I can't check you in. Like, the system asks, and I can't. 3 minutes before check-in closes, Max's visa got approved. We're like running, and the guy was frantically typing all the details. He was so helpful. Shout out to, no idea what your name was, but you were awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, and then that was the first step of...
And this has nothing even to do with COVID, like either of our problems. And we were like, it's all to do with COVID. All these
but
forms.
I mean, he was so distracted by the ESTA visa, I think, that he didn't even ask us about... I mean, he did ask, but he didn't check if we were vaccinated or tested. I mean, we were, but it's just like...
It's so weird.
We got through this easily.
Yeah. God, yeah, it feels really intense, but I mean, we made it here.
Yeah, the entire time, ever since we stepped into the airport, there was always one of those announcements going on. It's like, remember, due to COVID, you're only allowed to bring one piece of hand luggage onto the plane or something along those lines. And I had specifically booked with an airline where you can bring 2 because we have so much camera and laptop gear and shit. And Max was like, it'll be fine. I was freaking like, how can they do it? How can they just randomly decide? And what does Corona have to do with anything? And no one checked.
Yeah.
But for 2.5 hours, I drove myself crazy. Like, I had this little bird sitting in my brain. I was like constantly repeating the same phrase. Like, this is shit, this is shit. This is shit. Like, fuck, calm down, bitch. But couldn't.
But yeah, you can't. I also was panicking about the 2 luggage thing problem. I was like, oh God, I have 2 and 2 massive bags. No way I could put them together. No one even checked. They couldn't care less.
They couldn't care less. So weird.
It's so strange.
But why do they do it? Why do they induce so much fear into you?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a nice announcement either. It's not like, hi guys, it would be nice if you don't have so much luggage because it holds up the line and then more people get infected. Something nice and understand. No, those are the rules. And you're like, oh, back to Nazi Germany, I guess.
I feel right at home.
Oh, God. Cut that bit out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So a little bit anxiety-inducing
And it just kept being like this because the flight couldn't take off because of the weather, and we had really short amounts of times to transfer.
Yeah.
So I was like, the entire flight, even I was like stressed, we'll be late. Then we came out, and also there I was like, you have to have this and this documentation. I was like, I have no idea what this is about, so we just signed something.
Yeah.
I actually heard this tip in one podcast, and I think it's really good advice that I did not listen to. But it was about the health insurance system in the US because it's so shit. Like, quite often in an emergency, you get rushed to the hospital and then they give you something to sign, and you have no time, obviously, and no headspace to read.
Your head's hanging off when you
understand what you're signing. And often it's such high fees and whatever. So you should just sign with didn't read.
Oh, smart.
So I was like, this is so smart, but I obviously just signed with my name. I have no idea what I was. After my entire address, I was like, you'll find me if I did something wrong. It's so anxiety inducing. And they just collected this paperwork and just threw it into a bin. I think they're like, nah. Yeah, in a bin.
Yeah, probably.
It was so
Wouldn't
weird.
surprise me. My God, I felt like...
It feels like torture in a way to me. I'm like, why am I in this? And I was like, you're a privileged cunt.
Yeah. It's good
there
to keep reminding yourself.
A fucking first world problem. You chose to fly, and you're going to Mexico. What is a beautiful country. So what are you stressing about?
Yeah, there were several moments where I was like, everything's going to start going wrong, especially because I thought to myself, as soon as I get on my second flight, which was from Portugal to Cancun, nothing can go wrong there. Like, it's then completely sussed and nothing could go wrong. Second I landed, I opened up my phone for a message from Francie. And
only
the first one came through, and it was, we're stranded in Atlanta. And my brain instantly was like, they're going back then to Germany. That's it. That's done. I'm living here now. I live here. I'm like,
never leaving the airport.
Yeah, I'm never leaving. So, this was such a scary moment. But was it scary for you being stuck there? Or
it was just weird. Like, Max shakes his head, but I was stressed, obviously, because we landed late again, and I knew also there at the time for transferring to the next flight. It was so short, and the guy, when he checked us in, he wasn't sure if we have to pick up our luggage and then hand it in again and get it checked by the what is it called? Not the tax thingy, the
immigration or customs.
Yeah. So we were like really confused, and they're like, no, just hand the luggage, and then you have to stand in this massive immigration line anyway. So I was like, why? We're just transferring through. I don't get it. this took forever. And I told Max specifically, I was like, do you have any food in your bag? You have to throw it away.
Oh, no.
And he had 2 bananas. And he was probably really hungry, so I didn't.
I'll just wolf them down.
He didn't.
Oh.
He kept them. So when we were asked if we brought anything into the country, he's like, oh, just 2 bananas. Because obviously you think that's not a problem if you haven't been traveling before. But I knew this is
not a good idea.
So this guy was like, yeah, no, someone will pick you up. So that it felt like it took forever for someone to walk over and take us somewhere. And then we had to hand in our passports and just stand there. Literally, there was no one around.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what we were waiting for, like for an execution officer or something. And there was one random old dude, like he constantly walked past, like he had a uniform, and he was like, so are those your passports? We're like, yes. And then he just walked away, and then he came back, he was like, oh, those are your passports? We're like, is this kind of...
He was desperate to get his passport.
Is this a weird random joke? No, he was working for them, but he didn't help us at all. And also, I think... Maybe this is some kind of weird mental story. They just watch you if you behave weirdly or if you just wait calmly. Because then another woman came. She's like, oh, 2 bananas. We just throw them away. And then off you go. Oh,
that's really nice.
Scanned the luggage again. And then obviously we had to wait in another line to check in again. And then we had 5 minutes to run to the gate till departure. So I kind of knew that's impossible.
Yeah.
But we tried anyway. Max even ran without shoes.
Oh, no.
Running bare feet.
And it's such a massive airport. Like, there's not a hope
and
in hell.
And it was number 1 or something, like gate F number 1. So I was like, oh, at least it's in the beginning.
Yeah.
No, it started, it was 15. Number 1 was at the end.
Oh, no.
I think I felt like I was coughing out my lungs afterwards. And obviously we were too late. And they were like, nah, you just have to get a hotel and try again tomorrow morning. And then from then on, it felt like, it doesn't really matter what happens
breezy,
now because we have to wait anyways. But I was so worried about you being stranded alone. And Max
say that's a whole other story
as well. Like I was like, oh, we're fine now. Even if we just wait at the airport, it sucks, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But you are in Mexico by yourself. Like everything they warned us again. It was like, don't be by yourself. Don't go out at night.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm by myself. I'll go out at night. I don't know where my accommodation is.
Literally had no choice.
No phone.
Yeah, the thing wasn't working. When I downloaded your other message, I felt like, oh, okay, at least I know you're in a hotel. I know you're safe somewhere.
We were safe.
I hadn't really thought about myself.
4-star hotel. Okay, yeah, beautiful.
Really nice and privileged. But yeah, it was such a strange feeling of suddenly, like, I got my bag and then I was like, what now then? What do I do now? So, and I hadn't researched whether I should get a taxi or whether there was like airport shuttles. I didn't
our preparation
no research whatsoever.
Hard.
I kind of just relied on you guys meeting up with you and thinking, what do we do now? But
we relied on, I think everyone relied on everyone.
Everyone else relied on everyone doing the research for them. So I was like, I'm fucked. So to cut a long story short, I managed to get on this joint shuttle bus taxi kind of thing. And we dropped off several people, met a lot of really nice people on the way. And then the taxi driver literally dropped me off in this ghetto. And I'm not joking. The first thing I saw when I got off the bus was 3 dogs. Yeah, 3 dogs just greeting me. And they were cute, but they're probably rabid or something. Oh my God, I was so terrified. Like my whole body just shut down. And I even left my cameras and backpack and all my possessions, passport, money, whatever. I just left it.
Always a good idea.
I left everything on the bus because this guy was like, oh, I give you 2 minutes and we find your apartment. I was like, not a single street light as well. So it was pitch black. And I showed him the picture of the Airbnb. He was like, I don't know where this is. Like,
yeah, why would he also? Like, obviously he doesn't know.
He was like, it says it's here on the map and good luck to you. But I was so relieved that this girl on the bus insisted that he did not leave me alone. I was like, shit, please don't leave me, senor. He was like, oh, okay. Begrudgingly. So happy
I guess
that
she was scared to have the same fate once she is at her destination.
Yeah, she had another hour to go after me. So I really hope that you made it to your destination when you watch this. Like, please let me know in the comments. But
we have one visitor to the video, and it's how randomly would
that would be really weird.
Or the guy from the airport in Berlin. That would also be nice.
Aww. Yeah, or the guy that I met in the taxi. He was so nice and so friendly. So hopefully we can meet up with him whilst we're here.
This guy had sorry, just to go back to this for a second. But when he checked us in, and he was so nice, so I was overwhelmed by gratitude. I was like, thank you so much. Like, I cannot believe it. And he just said, lucky you came early to the airport. Like he wasn't like, yeah, I'm happy to help.
my
But he was
pleasure.
so German. He was just like really strict in his role. He's like, yeah, it's just lucky that you arrived on time.
Oh, this is so cute.
Adorable. I was like, can I kiss you? He's like, no, there's COVID. I was like, is this the only reason?
This is hilarious.
And you stink.
And
of
you
fear,
stink, yeah.
Like, of severe anxiety.
You haven't even started traveling yet and you fucking reek.
It literally mentioned the visa and I started sweating and from there on it was downhill. Like,
Yeah, it was the exact same for me. As soon as I got there, instantly started sweating. I was like, you really feel like a criminal.
I did.
Yeah.
Like, why I don't try to be.
Yeah, this guy at my check-in just listed off like 20 things that I needed. And thank God I had most of them because some of the things like getting a flight out of Mexico, I thought, I just do that when I'm there. They're not going to ask. It was like the second thing he asked for. Yeah, have you got a flight booked out of Mexico? Show me now. Like, I promise I'm doing everything I can. But I said bye to my dad afterwards. And we always have this like, till we meet again thing. And we had a massive hug. We said bye. And then we spend like 10 minutes then
waving,
walking 2 steps, turning around, waving, walking 2 steps, turning around, waving, and then we like peer over something if they're still there. So that usually goes on for like 10 minutes.
So much, yeah. We always do that as well.
I turned around and saw the guy that was checking me in, tears like flowing down, holding on to the girl next to him, like. It's like people lining up as well, waiting to be checked in, and the two of them are just watching us like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It's like, they're not going to see each other ever again.
Yeah. You're going to Mexico, you aren't coming back, bitch.
And we don't know if we will because we have still 3.5 weeks to go. So
Yeah,
there's
crazy.
still a chance for a rabies dog annoying
Joining
off a
a
leg.
cartel, or like the sky's the limit, really.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, back to your taxi story. I kind of...
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean, I obviously was fine
Made it.
because I'm still here. But it was really sketchy, like checking into this abandoned building. I didn't come across a single other person. Then I got there, realized I didn't have any Wi-Fi. It just felt like everything was plummeting downhill.
It was hilarious because I was so dead tired that when I fell into the hospital bed...
Hospital?
Hotel bed.
Yeah.
I was like... peering at my phone and I saw like 2, 3 or 4 messages from you coming through. I was like so relieved.
She's
And the
alive.
last one was a video and it looked like maybe a video of you arriving at your accommodation. I was like, okay, I'll watch it as soon as I can. And fell asleep, woke up 4 hours later because we had to catch our next flight, checked the messages, was listening to you blissfully, happy that you arrived, whatever, and then watched the video. And the last message from you was still at the airport.
Yeah.
And the video was literally like, there's no one else here.
It's completely
It's so
abandoned.
scary and creepy. I was like, oh no. So I frantically messaged you and none of the messages went through. I was like, no.
I know.
So they instantly started this high anxiety level again. And the entire flight, I was like, and then we had Wi-Fi on the plane and suddenly some messages came through from
That
me.
was
I
so
like,
strange. It was like, if you landed already, you're like, no, I'm flying, whizzing through the air like a bird. I was like, what? How? What? Why have you got Wi-Fi?
really awesome.
I spent, I think, like 2 solid hours that morning because I didn't sleep a wink. I was like, I'm getting up. Surely I come across a motel or a shop or somewhere with Wi-Fi.
Cafe or something.
Yeah, I just went round in a loop, I probably, for like 2 solid hours and then...
Burned to a crisp on your first...
sending you voice messages every like 3 seconds. So everyone that walked past me wasn't like, a potential victim there. I was like, no, I've got friends. Fuck off.
Yeah, I had a full-on narration of your entire morning.
Yeah.
That was nice.
And I thought about deleting all of those
No,
messages.
I loved it.
Yeah. But eventually I had a full pack of dogs just following me. And I don't know, it felt kind of cool, like I was a leader of the pack, but it also felt a bit weird because there was like 2 and then there were 6 and then suddenly there were like 16.
Like, are they rounding up to take me down? Or?
Yeah. So
Just start to dance in formation with them? I think that's your thing, right?
yeah, it is, definitely. All together now, folks. Top hat on. Scooby, you're not doing it right. Oh no, it's probably not Scooby. Juan, you're not doing it right. Should probably go into more detail a bit later about that. But some weird dog obsession.
Dog obsession.
Well, not dog, any animal. Dancing
animals is your thing.
Yeah, dancing in synchronization, any kind of animal. If anyone finds any videos, please send them to me because nothing
But
makes
only
me
to
happier.
Krista, not to the Procrasti account. I don't want to see any of this shit.
Please tag us.
I'll be happily watching your facial reactions, like your facial expressions when
I'm watching these animals
so
synchronized dancing. But yeah, I somehow managed to get back to the airport. I don't even recall how I got back there, but I did.
Also such a cute thing. Then when we finally got through to each other, and the only word we understood was Starbucks. Like I didn't understand a word.
The connection was so shit.
Really excited. I was like, okay, we'll come find you.
Yeah.
And then it's really nice actually at the Cancun airport. There were so many people so helpful, and they were like, do you have a question? I was like, go away. And they were actually all so nice and so helpful. Oh, we actually have people listening and they're laughing about our jokes. But yeah, so he's like, Starbucks, yeah, I'll show you. So he brought us there and no Crystal there. I was like, how
this can't be happening.
Can you be? We understood one word. Why not just wait 5 minutes? And then you came in.
Yeah.
And you were just starting to cry, and it broke my heart. And it was at the same time the most beautiful thing.
Yeah, I was so happy to see you. It was just felt like such a whirlwind, and not sleeping for a couple of days, and then seeing both your faces. I was like, suddenly felt like really calmed. Like, it was a beautiful feeling.
It was so beautiful, but it reminded me of my brother when we picked him up after his first full day in the kindergarten. Like we watched him, and he was just like really tense and quiet. And then he looked up and saw us, like me and my mom, and he was like, and then just burst into tears.
It felt like this, actually. I was like, my home, or something like that.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice. It
was a whirlwind of emotions, and then suddenly just I feel fine now.
But then it just continued with the whole rental car situation and getting here. But I think that might be a two-parter.
It might be a two-parter. How long have we been going on for?
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, it should be a two-parter, I think. To be continued tomorrow with our very interesting route of how we got to our accommodation 4 hours away from where we landed.
Yeah, and without any gas. Because we're retarded. Clearly.
So there's an amusing story coming.
Why is preparation not our thing at all? Ever? I guess
including for this podcast.
Just from listening to it, like, they could have prepared better, but well.
Yeah.
At least they look hot. No one will ever think that. Hot,
yeah,
like
very
sweaty.
And very hot. I think this was not a wise outfit choice.
Greetings out to everyone who's watching this during winter time. Just leave the country and come to Mexico.
Is it winter anywhere else in the world? It feels like everywhere should be hot. I can't even imagine it being cold anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But yes, greetings to you all, and ha ha ha. To be continued tomorrow.
I cannot believe we've been skiing literally a month ago together in Norway.
Yeah.
Went home for Christmas in a way.
Then suddenly
you
we're
went
here.
home for Christmas. I went home for
something.
No one cared that I was there. like no Christmas at all.
You're like, hey, I'm home. Everyone's like, don't care.
We're not doing Christmas this year. We don't even have a tree or gifts. I was like, fabulous.
Yay!
I'm glad
loving
I came here.
Cut to us being here.
Yeah, but also cut to me watching your family having the biggest parties every night, listening to your messages about all the beautifully organized, welcoming.
I don't know if they were organised, or whether they just do that every single week, and I was just included. But it was epic.
Either way,
yeah. Shout out to my awesome family. Thank you so much.
Yeah, shout out to Crystal's awesome family. Please invite me next year.
Definitely.
I'm glad my family does not understand any English, because then I can just rip into them. Yeah. They won't ever know. I love you, family.
Yeah.
No, I do.
To be continued tomorrow. Adios. Hasta luego.
But you can watch it now if you're binge watching.
Yeah.
You don't have to wait till tomorrow.
Skip straight to the next episode.
The magic of the internet streaming platforms.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Bye.
Adios. Hasta luego.
Hasta pronto. Pieces.